Hey, it's me. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's segment of Triangle Empowered. Triangle Empowered, where knowledge is power. So today, we're talking to you, especially if you have a business, a small business, you're about to start one, you're thinking about it. So here to answer some of our questions is our guest today, Mr. Kevin Dick. He is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Carolina Small Business Development Fund. Mr. Kevin, thanks for joining us, and how you doing?
How are you, Melissa? I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being with us and sharing your knowledge and expertise. So let's kick it off. So I have a business, or I want to start one. Tell me, how does the Carolina Small Business Development Fund support businesses?
Great question, Melissa. So in three major ways, we support small businesses. Number one, we do small business lending. Since 2010, we have closed over 1,000 loans throughout the state of North Carolina, and that has meant over $70 million in capital being dispersed to small businesses. Number two, we also provide coaching and technical assistance. So we don't want to just provide a loan and have you walk away from that transaction and not know what to do with the money once you get it, how to manage your business, how to manage your operations, your growth. We want to provide you that technical assistance, good understanding of your financial statements, balance sheets, and so forth. Maybe provide you with some connections to business development opportunities so that you can be profitable. So there are a lot of ways that we help from a technical advising standpoint. And by the way, we also help you walk through the loan applications, right? And we have recently added to our portfolio the fact that we work with organizations to manage grants. So in addition to the lending, we also do grants when resources are available. The third thing I would say is that we engage in policy and research. We want to make sure that public officials, philanthropic organizations, various stakeholders that make decisions about where resources should be allocated know about the importance of small businesses to North Carolina's economy. And also that they know the impact that events like the pandemic or hurricanes or other disasters that sometimes impact North Carolina, how they impact small businesses. So we need to make sure that the plight and the challenges and the successes of small businesses are at the top of mind for decision makers.
Wow, you all do so much. That is wonderful. You're there pretty much for businesses, small businesses especially. Well, tell us some things that small businesses need to do better to be successful, to thrive, especially those Black small businesses.
Melissa, that's a great question. And let me put that into perspective with this statistic. At the beginning of the global pandemic, there was some research done by the University of California at Santa Cruz. And they wanted to see what the closure rate was for businesses owned by people of various races. Melissa, the closure rate for white-owned businesses was 17%. That's pretty significant. Almost 1 in every 5 white-owned small businesses.
Wow, yeah.
For Hispanic-owned businesses, Melissa, it was 32%. For Asian-owned businesses, it was 26%. For Black-owned businesses, it was 41. That is about 2.5 times the rate of closure for Black-owned small businesses versus white-owned small businesses. So the whole notion and kind of the cliche that when the economy catches a cold, Black people catch the flu,
yeah,
that carries over to the business community as well.
wow.
And so everything that a business needs to do in terms of pivoting with its business model, in terms of thinking about different ways to market to its customer base, maybe having a heavier reliance on social media than in the past. If you're a food service business, for example, having a heavier reliance on different delivery mechanisms, curbside pickup, all of these ways that you've got to figure out how to deliver and market your products better to your customer base. That's a very significant way that people have to change. Embracing technology is so critical as well. The platform that we're on right now, you know, who heard of, there's a lot of people that may not have heard of the platform we're using a year ago.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that weren't used to being on Zoom or GoToMeeting or Microsoft Teams or StreamYard, or just pick the platform of the day, WebEx, doesn't matter. You've had to get used to that. You've had to figure out a way to make your business be showcased in a way that's virtual. So that is just an example of the different ways that businesses have to be, have to change and be flexible to the current times. And I would also say that even the way we network is different, how we engage with each other. And that's such a key part of business success, right? Because as we know, word of mouth advertising is the best advertising. Well, now word of mouth is being delivered a different way.
You're right. Having to think outside of the box because of what we're going through. You're absolutely right.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
So Mr. Kevin, tell us, what is Black Entrepreneurship Week? What is it and why is it important?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, a lot of the things we were just talking about in terms of how businesses can learn to pivot, get the knowledge that they need. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. And so Black Entrepreneurship Week is really about doing a few things. Number one, it's about providing, and I'm going to break it down into 4 I's, right? 4 I's. Okay. Inspiration, instruction, introduction, and information. Okay. First, inspiration. We want to commemorate and lift up and celebrate successful Black-owned businesses, Black-owned financial institutions or Black-led financial institutions, and Black-led capacity building organizations, those organizations that help small businesses thrive. We want to celebrate and inform the audience and really lift those up as resources for small businesses. So that's one of the things. We want to inspire small businesses and let them know that there are other businesses out there that are succeeding in the midst of the pandemic, and provide a bit of a historical context, in terms of some of the history that we will lend credence to. I also talked about instruction. We are going to have Carolina Small Business Development Fund business solutions officers, our business coaches and advisors, actually doing virtual sessions on, different aspects of business operations. And so we'll have at least 4 hours during the course of the week, in addition to one-on-one networking opportunities you have, so that we can make those opportunities available to small businesses who register. I talked about introduction. Mm-hmm. Melissa, like I said, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And we're going to have moderators and panelists that will be making themselves available to small businesses, explaining what it is their companies do and how, in many respects, they could be contracting entities for small businesses. So, for example, we're going to have 2 sessions, one on private sector contracting, how to gain contracts in the private sector, with officials from significant private sector companies on the panel. So you're going to hear directly from them, diversity and inclusion officers, supplier diversity certification organizations, how you penetrate the private sector in order to get private sector contracts. We call that cracking the corporate code. Then we have another panel discussion on the government as a business partner. So similar subject matter, but government procurement agents, especially those who focus a lot on minority and women-owned business enterprises, explaining to businesses how they can make themselves more appealing to governmental agencies to do contracts. We'll also be having workshops about pivoting in the face of the pandemic. So that's both the introductions in terms of networking and information. So I covered the second and third eye, right? And then and I also mentioned instruction. So we're going to have specific instruction, information, inspiration, and introduction. Week-long session, February 22nd through February 26th. We will have 15 sessions of content. So 3 per day. Special session from NCDOT, Office of Civil Rights, just to talk strictly about how you do contracts with NCDOT, as an example. So not too heavy. There'll be space between sessions for individuals to be able to network with each other online, but they can also hear the great content from our moderators and panelists. You can visit carolinasmallbusiness.org and then go to our events page and register right there. We just think it's a phenomenal opportunity for businesses to learn and for them to get together.
Sounds like a lot of 4 eyes, a lot of information and inspiration, so much more, Mr. Kevin.
Right.
It's wonderful for those who are thinking about or even, have their own small business. So this is absolutely great. Once again, before you get out of here, so we can roll it at the bottom, let everybody know, how we can get in contact, how we can get more information for those who are watching right now.
Sure, thank you. carolinasmallbusiness.org is basically the key to find out about everything Carolina Small Business, including Black Entrepreneurship Week. Just visit the events page and you can register right there.
Fantastic. We've covered a lot of information today, Mr. Kevin. Thank you so very much for providing great insight and information and inspiration for our small business owners today. We truly appreciate you so very much.
Thank you, Melissa. We really appreciate the opportunity to talk about Carolina Small Business. We're a resource for small businesses statewide, and we really look forward to seeing everyone at Black Entrepreneurship Week, February 22nd through February 26th.
Great information. All right, y'all. So that's another wrap for us today. I truly look forward to continuing this conversation next week. And thank each and every one of you for tuning in. It's Triangle Empowered, where knowledge is power. Until next week, have a great one.